The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Ashley Moore, and I am the manager for the Public Affairs Department at the LifeLink Foundation. I know most of you that are on the call tonight from Florida, but some of those from Georgia, this might be the first time that you're meeting me tonight. So welcome to tonight's training of CERVIS, which is our brand new volunteer management portal. We're going to teach you how to utilize it tonight, how to log in and set up your password, how to register for events. And we're going to go through everything you need to know tonight. Just a few housekeeping items as we get started. I want to make sure that you guys can see me and can also hear me, or see my presentation, but can also hear me. So for those of you that are on tonight, I see that we have Fiona, we have Mark, Sue Ann, and Tamara. I see you guys. If you could do me a favor and if you could check out the webinar control panel, and you'll see that there's these little gray bars with different words. If you can find the chat box or the question box, and if you click the little gray arrow, you can actually type in a question to me. So I see Fiona has found it. She says, "Hi, Ashley." So good. That means you can hear me. But if you have any questions as we go through tonight's presentation, please type that into the question box. So I'll share with you how to find it one more time just so that you know that you're there. If you look at the control panel, you'll look at the gray little tab, you'll see a little gray arrow. If you click on it, it will open up and you can actually type and talk to me. So again, I think Sue Ann has found it, so thank you, great. Excellent. I'm just going to check on our attendees, make sure we have all of you here. Okay, perfect. Awesome. So Fiona and Sue, I know you have found the question box. If the others want to take a little bit of time, I'm also going to let you know about the handout section tonight. So I do have a PowerPoint that is going to cover everything that we're going to talk about tonight. I'm going to show you a little bit of it, but then I'm going to do a live navigation so you can actually see me live go into the system. For those of you that want to download that handout tonight, if you click the handout section, you can download that PowerPoint. And if for some reason you can't find it or it's taking a long time to download, don't worry. After tonight's training, it's going to be emailed out to you guys tomorrow. So a few things before we get started. I'm trying to see if anybody else will pop on. I know we had a few more people registered. But basically, we're just going to go in and show you how to access the system. And we will basically start utilizing this system starting December 1st. But that doesn't mean that you can't go in. You can actually go in and start signing up for events now. Just know that it's going to be for events in December going forward. All right. I don't see that anyone's popped on, but if so, I will make sure to catch them up. So hopefully you guys can see the PowerPoint that I've got on the screen now. If for some reason you can't see it, again, just click on the question box and type in a little message to me. But hopefully you can see the presentation. So our new volunteer management system is called CERVIS. And tonight we're going to tell you how to access it. So there are two different ways to access CERVIS. The first way is the direct link is www.volunteers.lifelinkfoundation.org. That is the direct link to take you to the site. And the other way is you can actually find it just by going to the main LifeLink Foundation page. So if you go to lifelinkfoundation.org, you can scroll over to the Connect with Us section, which is on the top bar, and then you can scroll down to volunteers. And when you click that section, you can actually see us. And I'm going to show you that in just a minute. The first thing that you're going to do when you go to the portal login is you're going to need to set up your password. Now, all of you have been put into the new system, so it should have all of your previous information. And so all you're going to need to do is you're going to click this little button, Don't Know Password or Reset Password. That's what you're going to click. And then you're going to see this screen pop up. It's going to say, put your email in and then tell them your first name and then click email me my password. So what this is going to do is give you a temporary password. It's going to send a temporary password to your email account. And it's going to look like this. It's basically going to come from the LifeLink Foundation service account password reset. This is what it's going to look like, and it's going to give you something like this, a couple of different letters, upper and lower case here. And so what you'll need to do is take that temporary password, go back to the main login page, and then put in a new password so that you can remember what it is. Now, just take note that they will ask you to make a password that is between 8 to 30 characters. It must contain at least one uppercase and one lowercase letter and one number. So I have gotten some questions from volunteers asking how often are we going to have to reset our passwords? And right now the system has it set that every 90 days it's going to prompt you to change your password. And that 90 days will start whenever you actually go in and set up your password. So again, that's the goal for you guys tonight, is after we're done with this training, go ahead and go to those links, and then you can again fill out your name. It'll send you that temporary password to your email. You can log in, and it will force you to give you a new password. Now, once you've put your new password in, it's going to ask you to verify some of your information. So we have basically transferred all of the information from your old profile into this new system. So I'm going to show you what that looks like in a little minute, but definitely go through and make sure that things are accurate. So if your phone number has changed, if your physical address has changed, or you're going to change your email address, definitely please update that in the system so that you can maintain communication with us. And of course, we do use those three ways to connect with you. So as long as we have that set, we should be good. And let me go ahead and log into the system live so that you can see what it looks like. So I'm going to pull this down, and I'm going to show you live what it should look like. So let's go into full screen. So this is the main LifeLink Foundation page. It's lifelinkfoundation.org. And when you go to this site, you're going to see a lot of different bars up here, and they open up into different things. You're going to want to click the Connect with Us bar and go down to Volunteer. And then you're going to see right away the different portals and also new volunteers. So let's talk about that for just a second. So for you guys, the new portal is this one right here. If you click this link, it's going to take you to the portal. And again, it says for events starting on 12/1. So the new portal is active. It's working. You can go into it tonight. You can start looking at events. You can start signing up. But basically, any events that are in November are going to be in the old portal system. Any new events are going to be in here starting December 1st. And like I said, we already have a lot of events in there. So if you want to go ahead tonight, you can look and see what's coming up in the future. And then just so that you guys know too, because I know a lot of you do run into volunteers when you're out in the community, or potential volunteers, I should say, when you're out in the community. We definitely want you to encourage them to join our volunteer program. So if you do find someone that has a connection, either a donor family member or a recipient or a living donor, if they want to get involved with our program, the best thing to do is to direct them to the LifeLink Foundation page and then tell them to check out the volunteer section, like I said. And what a new volunteer has to do to get involved with LifeLink is they have to click here, New Volunteer Sign Up. And what that forces them to do is it actually forces them to select a training. So volunteers have to do a training before they can become official in the program. So they can do an in-person one, or they can do an online training. So you can see down here, there's an online training for both Florida and Georgia. And what you're going to notice too is that this system does cover all of our Georgia service area as well as our Florida service area. So that's one thing I'm going to have to teach you, how to kind of search just your local area so that you're not getting a ton of information. But again, when a new volunteer comes to us, they have to select a training, and then it will prompt them to fill out an application before they can go to that training. So that helps get all of our new volunteers in the system. So as you get new volunteers, as you get people that want to volunteer with us, again, just direct them to the website, tell them to go to the volunteer section, and they can go ahead and select a training and get involved right away. They don't even have to contact us. We'll see the information once they fill it out. So let me go back to the foundation page. Let's go ahead and click on the new volunteer portal so I can show you how to get in. So that'll take me directly here, or again, I could just type in www.volunteers.lifelinkfoundation.org. And again, takes me right to the portal. Again, you guys are going to click the don't know password, and it's going to ask you for your email. And again, your first name, just click email me my password. And again, you'll be prompted to set that up when you go back into the main page. But I do know my password, so I'm going to go ahead and log in and show you what we see. Okay, so I'm just going to click sign in with email. And then this takes you to your main portal home. And you're going to see there's a lot of different things here that we're going to look at tonight. The first thing is event registration management. That's going to give you the opportunity to register for upcoming events. You can also view or cancel your registrations that you have signed up for. That's a new feature. And then profile management. You can add an additional volunteer to your profile. And what this might be helpful for is if any of you have a child that's maybe underage and doesn't have their own email, or if you have a spouse or partner that you share the same email, this is a way for you to actually individualize yourselves on the profile, and each of you can sign up for activities using that same email. That doesn't apply to everybody, so most people probably won't need to add an additional volunteer to their profile, but you certainly can. And again, I recommend doing this if you're a spouse or partner that share the same email, or if you have an underage child that doesn't have their own email. You can also view or update your profile, and we'll go into that in just a minute. You have report management. You can actually view or print a history of all of your volunteer hours if you ever need to do so. I know most of the adults in the program don't use this feature, but a lot of our younger children that maybe are doing this for school credit, this is a really helpful feature for them so that they can record their hours and turn them in to their teachers. And then of course, if you ever need to change your password, you can always go in and do that as well. So we're going to go back up to the top. One of the most important things that you'll learn how to do tonight is to register for an upcoming event. So we're going to go ahead and click that. Okay, so the first thing you're going to see is all of these opportunities. And as my little cursor goes over it, it'll turn green. If it's green, that means it's open, that we still need people to sign up. So this one needs 3, this one needs 1, this one needs 2. This has an unlimited amount of signups. And as you keep going over, you see there's a lot. And so this can be a little bit overwhelming, and you'll see that there's both Florida, there's Georgia, and you'll notice this one turned red. This one is actually full. This means that the event doesn't need any more volunteers, so it won't allow you to register for this one. And again, one of the biggest things when you first log in, it's a lot to look at. So my recommendation is let's search just your local area to help you see the things that you're interested in. So the first thing you're going to do is do search events by interest, location, date, or keyword. Click that. And then click show, search for events by interest. Click the region that you live in. So for Florida, we do a region based on the Hillsborough, Pinellas, Pasco, Hernando area. We do one based on Lee, Charlotte, Glades, and Hendry, Polk, Highlands, and Martin, and Sarasota, Manatee, Hardy, and DeSoto. For Georgia, you'll have Albany, Atlanta, Augusta, Brunswick, Columbus, Macon, Rome, Dalton, and Savannah. So I'm going to click on Hillsborough just to show you that's where I live, so I'm going to do that as an example. Once you've selected it, just click search. And then you're going to see as you scroll down, it's going to eliminate all of those Georgia ones. It's going to eliminate things that aren't necessarily in your area. So it kind of helps me see what do I really want to do that's in my local area. So I can, as I hover over this, you'll see that these gray little bars pop up. I can view event details, or I can view list. And as I hover over it, it actually tells me what it means. So when I click the view list, it says view registered volunteers. Click to view the volunteers that are registered for this event. So you can see who is going to this event already. So let's click that. And I have registered, so I am actually attending that event. But you can see other people who have also registered as well. In addition to that, you can view event details. So let's click that. And that's actually going to give you a picture of what the event might look like. So this is a donation tabling event. And as I scroll down, you'll see the event description. It'll tell me who's there. It actually gives me a flyer and a guideline for the tabling event. This is actually a one-pager that you can download that gives you standard information for how events like this typically go. This is really helpful for new volunteers who haven't done this before. It tells me the event date and time. This tells me how many volunteers I need or how many are still open. The event meeting location, the name and the location. And if I click here, view the location map, it's actually going to give me a map of where I need to be. And this was a sample event that I just did, and this is just the Tampa office here. But it helps you get to where you need to go. And then it tells me who organized the event. So if you guys needed more questions about it, you could call me or email me. And it tells me what kind of category it is. So this is an event working with the MDEP group. So if I want to do this event, I just click here to register. So I would just click this. And it tells me I have successfully registered for the event and to check my email because I'm going to get a registration confirmation email with all of the details about that particular event. Now I want to point out this is not the only way that you can look at events. You can actually view them in a different format. So if you don't like looking at them in this type of horizontal format, you can actually come up here and you can click Show Event Calendar, or you can click the calendar over here. And if I click Show Event Calendar, I can actually view it by calendar. So I can just scan through the months, and anything that's in green means that there's something open. So if you click on it, it's going to populate down here. And you can either learn more. Again, it'll tell you the description. It'll give you a one-pager for how to do those types of events. It tells me what time is open. This has different shifts because this is a two-shift event. Tells me the meeting location, tells me who organized it. And again, if I want to register, I can click here to register. And then let's see, I want to go back to event calendar. If I keep scrolling over, you'll notice again, if it shows up in red, it's already full, but I can still learn about that event just to see what it is, even though it's full. I can still check and see what's going on there. And I can see, again, view list. I can see who is registered. So Ellen Funk and Evelyn Colin are doing that one. So I'm going to go back. Any way to navigate back, you can always click this back button, or you can click, that's the easiest way to go back. And again, let's look at this one on the 22nd. USF Bull Market. Let's learn more. That sounds like a good event. I want to do that, so I'll click here to register. And let's see, I'm going to do one more just so you guys can get another idea of what you want to do. I'm going to show my event calendar, so I like to view it like this. Let's see, the MLK Day of Service. I'm going to learn more about that. Sounds like an event I want to do. I'm going to click to register. Okay. And let's do one more from this way. So again, if I want to register from this way and I don't want to view it on the calendar, I can click View Event Details. Again, I can scroll down, make sure that's an event that I want to do, click off of it here, and I can just click here to register. And again, it'll tell me that I've successfully registered for that event. So another way you can search, again, if you click on this, it will kind of hide itself, or when you click on it again, it will open up. There are other ways instead of just clicking your region. You could do it by a mile search radius outside of your own zip code. That's one way you could do it. I could go 50 miles outside of where I live, and I would just click search. And then it shows me, again, all of those meetings that are 50 miles within my zip code. If I ever want to go back and I want to see everything, I want to clear my search filter, click here to clear all search right here. So click that. That'll take you back to seeing everything again. But I do highly recommend that when you do the search events, I recommend just going to your area location. I feel like that's really going to help you narrow down what's going on in your area. And again, just click search. I will mention too, there is a keyword search. So you could actually, I'm going to clear it really quick. I'm going to search again. You could, if you wanted to just search for meetings or trainings, you could just search a word. Or if you were looking for a speaking event, and it'll bring up all of the meetings. And again, you can see I haven't put any in here for Florida because we have our end of the year banquets and our January meetings haven't been scheduled yet. But you could actually select here again to register for the Atlanta meeting. So you want to click here. And in our old system, we used to have meetings and trainings separate from the actual opportunities. And now you're only going to see, they're all going to be in the same kind of format. So I'm just going to clear my search so you can see what I mean. They're all going to be in the same listing. So you'll just have to see this is an online training, this is an in-person volunteer training. They're all going to be listed the same. So your meetings are going to be mixed in with your opportunities there. So next up, I kind of showed you how to use the event calendar. Again, if you like to view it like this, you can do that. If you want to go back to the registration page, just go back. And then, again, we showed you the search feature. You could even search it by date if you wanted to do that. But let's say, you know what, I signed up for a couple of those, but I need to cancel. I'm going to teach you how to go in and cancel. So let's go back to the main portal. And you can go back, again, two ways. You can go back using this bottom button, Portal Home, or you can use the little house button, takes you back to the home page. And you're back on your main portal. So let's view or cancel those registrations for those new events that I signed up for. So we're going to click here. And you can see it tells me these are the current registration activity that I have. So I'm on this one, and this one. And let's say that, you know what, I really can't do the art in the park. I'm going to have to click on it to highlight it. And then I can even put a reason for canceling. So let's say I got sick. I'm going to put that in there. And I click cancel selected reservation. So I'm going to click cancel. It says, are you absolutely sure? And I do. I want to cancel it. And it takes it off my list. And it says volunteer registration successfully canceled. You will also get an email confirming your cancellation. Now here's another thing, just to note. Our old system never used to let you cancel. One of the reasons why was because we didn't want anybody to cancel a few hours before an event and not give us notice. So you always had to call us to let us know that you had to cancel. How we're going to do the system this time is the system will not let you cancel 2 days prior. It locks you out 2 days prior to the event. So if you have to cancel within 2 days of an event, you will have to physically call the office or email us to let us know that you can no longer do the opportunity. But if it's like 3 days out or 4 days out or more, you can cancel the opportunity online. So I don't really want to do any of these. I've decided I can't go or whatnot. I'm going to click this top bar box and it actually highlights everything. And again, you can check on, check off, and I'm going to cancel them all at once. And maybe I accidentally registered. And I know for some of you guys, especially now that we have Georgia and Florida in here, I think there are going to be some accidental registrations to the wrong state. So you can click that you accidentally registered. And again, just click cancel and cancel registration. So one more thing as we go back to the portal home, since you are going to be able to see Georgia opportunities and Florida opportunities, please note that we are not going to pay any mileage if you sign up for the wrong state. So please don't go to the wrong state. If you're in Georgia, stay in Georgia. If you're in Florida, stay in Florida. Again, when you go to register, I highly suggest you searching your local area. That will definitely help you see the areas that are close to you. So anybody have questions on event registration or cancellation? Definitely type me a question in the question box if you're not sure. Next up, as I wait to see if you guys have any questions about registration, we're going to talk about profile management. So in addition to what I was talking about earlier, we're going to view and update your profiles. So this is something that I highly recommend as you guys set up your profiles and you go into this new system. Definitely please update your volunteer profile. We took any information that we had on you from the last system and we did bring it over to the new system. The only thing that did not transfer was your picture. And some people were actually kind of sad that their pictures weren't going to transfer, but you can upload a new picture, or at some of our upcoming meetings next year, we're going to offer the opportunity to do a headshot for you, so that way we can get a nice professional photo of you. But even if you have a fun selfie photo, that will work too. We just want to see your face on your profile. So let's go into the view and update volunteer profile. So the first things first, if you want to update your picture, again, you're not going to have your old picture. That's the only thing that did not come over from the old system. Just click change. You can click choose image and you can upload an image. Cancel that. I don't want to change mine, but when you do upload your photo, you can change it to the left or to the right if you need to rotate it, and you can remove your photo if you don't like the one that you've posted. And again, once you do that, you'll have that on your profile. Just go back to Portal Home. And I do have a question, so I'm going to pause for that. Fiona has asked, is there a way to present your options to Florida without filtering every time? So you can, preset. So that's a good question. So let me go in and show you that. When you go in to register for an upcoming event, register for an event, the first one. When you go into that, you only have to do it when you log in one time. So this is a great question. So let's say I only want to see what's in my area. So I'm going to click search, show Hillsborough, and then click search. I only have to do this once. If I were to sign up for this and then want to go back and look at all the other things, it will keep you in your search until you log out of the program. So you only have to set it once. But again, every time you go in, you're going to have to redo that because it'll log you out. But whenever you're logged in, it will keep you in your search of whatever you've searched. So you don't have to do it every time you sign up during a session. Just whenever you log in that first time, you'll do it, and however long you're in the session for, it will keep you with your search. But the second you log out, let's say you log in the next day, you're going to have to set it again. So it's not too bad. Like I said, you're really only having to do your location and then click search, and it will keep you there as you go through and sign up for events. So you only have to do it once during each session. That's a good question, though. Okay, so I'm going to go back to, again, take my home button, take me back to the main page. And again, I'm going to go back to view or update my profile. So we talked about how to change your photo over here. Again, all of your information should be in the system, so just double check that everything looks correct, that your birthday is correct, your address is correct, your volunteer cell phone number. And I do want to highlight, this is a new feature of this program. You're going to notice that there's going to be a checkbox next to the cell phone. And this is if you want to receive text message updates. We only send text messages when we're doing our automatic reminders for events that you've signed up for. So if you don't want to receive text messages, you're going to want to uncheck this. What we've done as a standard is we're going to have everybody receive them. So it's automatically going to be turned on. If you do not want to receive text messages, just click it off. So I'm going to keep mine on because that's going to be an important part of helping to get your information and reminders sent to you. Make sure that you have your emergency contact in there. If your t-shirt size has changed, definitely let us know. Again, your gender, your ethnicity, and this is another area that I want to point out because I think some people have this information filled out and some don't. And some of you don't apply to this section. So this is really only for people who have had a transplant or are a donor family member, or are a living donor. So please put your date of your transplant, what date, day, and year, or if you were a donor family member, what was the day that your loved one donated, again, or if you were living, so deceased or living, put that information in there. And then what was the hospital of the transplant or the donation? And again, if you are a caregiver or a family member or a friend, not an actual recipient or donor family member, you're not going to put this information because it doesn't apply to you. But the reason why we ask is that there are times when I get requests from some of my hospital liaisons that say, hey, I want to have a heart recipient that has a connection to Tampa General Hospital. And so I can go into the back end of this system and I can search and find that person that I need. So it's really, really helpful for me if I'm looking for a certain type of volunteer to make a connection with a certain hospital. Again, this is pretty standard. How did you hear about us? That came from our original questionnaire back in the day that you filled out. Something new is this one right here. Are you interested in being an event team leader? Now, this is a new question. You can fill this out. What this is we know that our program is going to grow and we want it to grow. So in the future, we anticipate that some of our volunteers will have the ability to step up and become either a team leader or take on a larger role. So if you're ever interested in taking on a larger role, just click yes here. That way we'll know when it's that time. We can search and see who's interested in that. And then when we scroll down to your interest, again, this is something that you've already filled out, but you can update at any time. This is really where you want to get emails about places. So if you want to get information about different areas, you can click as many or as few that apply. Now, for those of you, again, in Georgia, you're going to want to select the areas that you are interested in getting emails about. And for those of you in Florida, select the counties or regions that you are interested in getting information about. I'm going to select mine. I don't know why I had Atlanta on here. I'm going to select all of Florida because that's what I want to get information about. And then on the volunteer connection, this is the same concept. Check all that apply. We have cornea recipient, donor family member of recipient, general interest, heart, kidney, lifelink staff, liver recipient, living donor, lung recipient, pancreas, small intestine, tissue recipient, or waiting for transplant. I'm pretty sure we have the gamut covered from anybody to know what type of volunteer you are. And you could be a donor family member and you could have also received a transplant. So definitely click all that apply. And then the last thing that I'll have you do, I wanted to reiterate this and just point this out. This is the I have read and understand and accept the following terms and conditions. We want you to click this and click update your volunteer information when you're done. This will save everything that you've done and it will tell you you've successfully updated your profile. But let's go back to what this is. This is actually our consent for news media release, our liability agreement for volunteers, and our confidentiality statement. And again, if you want a copy of it, we can send it to you. You all, if you are volunteers with us, you all signed this when you started your work for LifeLink. So technically you don't have to worry about it. But we do want it checked off on your profiles. So all of our old volunteers, you guys signed physical paperwork. Going forward, all of our new volunteers are going to check this off electronically, and we just want to make sure that you guys have also got this documented on your profile. So please check the box so that we know that you've done it. Again, just to reiterate what you signed up for in case you forgot, the news media release is to allow us to utilize your photo on social media, also on brochures and posters and anything that we're doing in the public to promote donation. The liability agreement is just basically the please don't sue us if you get into an accident while volunteering for us. And just know that we do have insurance on our volunteers. We're obviously going to take care of you, but that's basically what the release of liability is. And then the confidentiality statement, that's basically if you overhear any private information about a donor family or medical information about a patient, that you don't repeat that outside of LifeLink's walls. And again, you've all signed this. This is stuff that we have on file, but just to update our system electronically, if you will sign it again by checking off the box, we would appreciate it. So once you've gone through your all of your volunteer information, which again, most of this should be accurate and up to date, just make any changes. And if you have any changes in the future, go in and update this so that we have accurate information on you. Again, make sure to click update volunteer information here so that it gets saved, and then you can go back to the portal home. Any questions on the profile management or again, event registration? If you thought of anything, let me know in the little question box. Next, we're going to go to report management. Let's just click view and print our activity. So this is going to tell you how many hours you've served with LifeLink, and you can actually search it. You can check the month, you could check the year, and you could set that range of what you want to look at, and then you can actually filter history, and it will tell you the amount of hours you have. Now, of course, I don't have any on this system. What we have done though is we have recorded some of your hours. We have brought that over into the new system from most of this year. There is a 2-month gap, so it's not going to be 100% accurate. We're actually keeping all of that information. We've got that in other types of reporting. It's just because we had to transfer the old system to the new system, and there was a 2-month gap of where we don't have it electronically. We do have it internally on our records. But going forward next year, so 2020, it will be completely accurate going forward. So just know that if you do look at your service hours for 2019, you actually have more than you probably think you do, just because we're missing 2 months online. But at some point, we had to have a cutoff when we were transferring our information to the new system. Again, we have all of it. It's just not all accessible online because of the cutoff date. But rest assured, we track all of that for you guys all the time. So back to Portal Home. So that's pretty much it, guys. It's pretty simple. The hardest part, like I said, is going to be coming in and registering for an event and making sure that you are searching your location. And as you can see, it kept me on my search. So I'm only seeing that Florida area that I was telling you about because I already searched it. It tells you that I'm looking at the Hillsborough, Pinellas, and Pasco. And I could clear it if I wanted to, or I could just keep it. Again, it's the only thing I'm going to warn you about is the cancellations. You're not going to be able to cancel 2 days out or 1 day out. You will have to call us and again let us know. And that's just so that we don't miss somebody who's canceling at the last minute. But whenever you do register for an event, it does send you a confirmation email. And just like in the old system, when we have new volunteer opportunities, we are going to email them out to you, and you can click a link to register as well from your email. So guys, that's pretty much the new portal in a nutshell. I would love to hear your feedback. Most of the feedback that I have gotten from other volunteers, you guys are the last ones to get this training tonight. This was recorded, so we will have this available to you if you ever need to get another training on this or you can't remember. But you certainly can download the handout, which is the PowerPoint that goes over each step, or Kristen will send it to you tomorrow. But is there any questions or again, any thoughts about the program? Sue says it looks good and thank you. Thank you so much, Sue. I appreciate that. We tried, we've been testing this for about a year, so everything should be pretty solid at this point. But definitely if you have any questions, I certainly will be happy to answer them for you. And if you're struggling at all as you start to get into this, like I said, you can start tonight. You can go in and look at all of those opportunities and start registering. You can start that now and updating your profile. But if you have any questions along the way, don't hesitate to reach out to your local contact. For those of you in Georgia, that's going to be Temika. And for those of you in Florida, that's going to be Kristen.Miranda. And we'll be happy to walk you through online. And we can always go over this at some of your volunteer meetings if you have any questions. Thanks so much, Mark. I appreciate the feedback, and I hope you guys do enjoy the system. It has a lot more features than our old one, especially with the opportunity to cancel things, to view things, and to also check your history. So I think it'll be really nice. So that's all I have for you guys tonight. Again, I will be quiet for a few minutes to see if anybody else has questions, but I do think it's fairly straightforward. And again, we can always talk later if you do come up with something that you think about, if you need more information. Awesome. Thank you so much, Fiona. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for bearing with me tonight. It wasn't too bad, about 40 minutes. So again, I'm going to get quiet now and I'm going to check to see if there's any questions. But if you guys are done, feel free to drop off the webinar. You guys have a great night.